You think your money is safe in the bank. You think the numbers on your screen belong to you. But in a financial collapse, the rules change overnight. History proves that when governments run out of money, they do not ask for yours. They simply take it. They freeze accounts, they halt withdrawals, and they seize assets. But the financial elite do not panic during a crisis. Why? Because their wealth is not in the banking system. They store their power in 5 untouchable assets. These are fortresses of wealth that no government can track, freeze, or confiscate. Today, we are exposing the collapse-proof portfolio. Welcome to the real economy. Asset number 1, the original God money. We are not talking about paper gold, exchange-traded funds, or digital numbers on a brokerage screen. If your wealth is tied to a digital gold derivative, you do not own gold. You own an IOU from an institution that will undoubtedly fail during a systemic collapse. When the financial system locks down, any asset connected to a counterparty or a digital ledger can be frozen with a single keystroke. The financial elite understand this. That is why they hoard physical, allocated precious metals, specifically gold and silver, and they completely remove them from the banking system. They do not store their bullion in a local bank's safe deposit box, because when a government declares a bank holiday, those doors are chained shut, and the contents can be legally confiscated under emergency powers. This has happened before, and it will happen again. Instead, the ultra-wealthy use a network of private, non-bank vaults located in strategically chosen, neutral jurisdictions like Switzerland, Singapore, or Dubai. These facilities operate entirely outside the traditional financial matrix. They are heavily militarized fortresses built deep underground, and they are not beholden to the banking regulations of your home country. When you hold physical gold in a private offshore vault, there is no digital trail for your local government to track. There is no account balance to freeze. It is a completely anonymous bearer asset. If a currency collapses into hyperinflation, or a government decides to seize bank deposits to bail out their own catastrophic debt, this physical gold remains untouched. It sits in the dark, preserving its immense purchasing power, waiting for the dust to settle. Gold has outlived every single fiat currency in human history. Every paper dollar, euro, or yen is mathematically guaranteed to reach its intrinsic value of 0. But physical gold is the ultimate insurance policy against the arrogance of central banks. It is wealth that exists in the physical realm, requiring no internet connection, no electricity, and no permission from a politician to retain its value. This is how you step out of the burning house before the doors are locked. Asset number 2, the monopoly on human survival. While retail investors are distracted by the stock market casino, obsessing over the daily fluctuations of tech companies and retail chains, the absolute wealthiest families on Earth are quietly executing a very different strategy. They're buying the ground beneath your feet. Specifically, they're hoarding productive agricultural farmland and the water rights attached to it. If a currency undergoes hyperinflation, the numbers in your bank account become mathematically meaningless. $1 billion will not buy a loaf of bread if the supply chain has completely collapsed. The elite know that in the aftermath of a sovereign debt crisis, the only things that retain true, unyielding value are the assets required to sustain human life. You can print infinite trillions of fiat currency, but you cannot print a single acre of fertile topsoil. By aggressively acquiring farmland, mega corporations and billionaires are securing a permanent stranglehold on the global food supply. This is not an investment in capital appreciation. This is an investment in absolute leverage. When the financial matrix shatters, people will not care about software subscriptions or digital advertising revenue. They will care about calories, clean water, and shelter. This asset is perfectly collapse-proof. A government cannot digitally freeze 1,000 acres of wheat. A central bank cannot hack a freshwater aquifer. tangible, productive land exists completely outside the digital panopticon. It generates an intrinsic, unavoidable yield because human beings will always be forced to pay whatever price is demanded to avoid starvation. They are transitioning from financial capitalists to neo-feudal lords. You will not own the land, you will not own the food supply, and you will be entirely dependent on the corporate estates for your basic survival. They are building a moat around their wealth using the very earth itself, while the middle class is left holding pieces of paper that are burning by the second. Asset number 3, the invisible shadow banks. When you walk through a museum and look at a masterpiece, you see culture, history, and artistic genius. When the financial elite look at that exact same painting, they see something entirely different. They see an unregulated, untraceable, and highly portable vault. High-end fine art and rare collectibles operate as a shadow banking system completely divorced from the traditional economy. If a working-class citizen transfers $10,000 between bank accounts, the algorithms flag the transaction. Governments demand explanations, and tax agencies monitor every cent. But a billionaire can walk into a private auction house, purchase a $50 million painting through an anonymous shell company, and move that wealth across international borders without triggering a single financial alarm. The art market is one of the last unregulated financial frontiers on Earth. The true power of this asset class lies in its subjectivity and extreme portability. You cannot physically carry $50 million in gold bullion onto a private jet. It weighs over a ton. But you can easily roll up a masterpiece canvas, place it in a climate-controlled tube, and fly it to a tax-free jurisdiction before the public even realizes a financial collapse has begun. Once purchased, these assets are rarely hung on the walls of luxury mansions. Instead, they are shipped directly to ultra-secure tax-free zones known as free ports. These are massive, heavily guarded bunkers located next to airport runways in places like Geneva, Luxembourg, and Singapore. Inside these free ports, billions of dollars in untaxed wealth sit in perpetual darkness, trading hands between billionaires without ever seeing the light of day. Because the art never officially enters the country, no import taxes or capital gains are ever paid. During a hyperinflationary event or a banking freeze, fiat currency becomes radioactive. But the elite know that a high-value collectible will always retain its value among the global oligarchy. They have effectively created a parallel currency, a closed-loop system of wealth preservation that normal people can never access. While the middle class watches their digital numbers evaporate in a system crash, the elite are simply moving their wealth from a burning bank ledger into a climate-controlled vault, entirely invisible to the state. Asset number 4, the geographic hedge. Most people view citizenship as an absolute, unchangeable reality. You are born in a country, you pay taxes to its government, and your destiny is intimately tied to its economic survival. But for the global financial elite, citizenship is not an identity. It is simply another asset class to be acquired, diversified, and traded. They understand that the greatest risk to their wealth is not a stock market crash, but being physically trapped inside a collapsing, desperate nation. When a government faces an insurmountable sovereign debt crisis, they do not just print money and raise taxes. They close the exits. They implement strict capital controls, making it a criminal offense to move your money across the border. They raise exit taxes to confiscatory levels, and in extreme scenarios, they can restrict the right to travel. If your only passport belongs to a sinking economic ship, you are going down with it. This is exactly why the ultra-wealthy purchase multiple foreign passports through programs quietly known as citizenship by investment. By investing a few $1,000,000 into luxury real estate or a sovereign fund in jurisdictions like Malta, Cyprus, or various Caribbean nations, they legally purchase a second, third, or fourth nationality. This is the ultimate geographic hedge against political and financial instability. It provides them with the absolute legal right to instantly relocate their family and their capital to a safe jurisdiction at the very first sign of trouble. While the middle class is trapped behind bureaucratic walls, waiting in endless immigration lines or hoping for a visa approval, the elite simply pull out a different colored passport and step onto a waiting aircraft. They hold the legal keys to multiple sovereign states. If their home country becomes politically unstable, economically hostile, or decides to aggressively tax their wealth, they simply vanish into the night. They are citizens of nowhere, bound by no single government, operating entirely above the invisible borders that constrain the rest of humanity. Your nationality is a cage. Their nationality is just another premium subscription service. Asset number 5. The Unconfiscatable Digital Vault. For decades, the ultimate sanctuary for wealth was physical. It was gold buried in an underground vault, or fertile land defended by ironclad property rights. But the modern financial elite have adopted a new, infinitely more portable fortress: decentralized, self-custodied, cryptographic assets, specifically Bitcoin. You are taught by the media that cryptocurrency is nothing more than a volatile casino, a place for retail investors to gamble their life savings. That is a deliberate misdirection. The institutional players and the ultra-wealthy are not day trading. They are quietly accumulating a mathematically scarce asset that exists entirely outside the control of any central bank, any government, or any corporate entity. To understand why this is the ultimate untouchable asset, you must fundamentally understand the difference between custody and self-custody. When you hold money in a traditional bank or stocks in a mainstream brokerage, you do not actually own them. You merely own an IOU. If the state demands it, the bank will freeze your account in a fraction of a second. Even if you buy digital assets on a centralized exchange, you are still playing by their rules. They hold the keys, which means they hold your wealth. But true wealth preservation relies on self-custody. When you hold your own private cryptographic keys on a cold storage hardware device, a fundamental shift in power occurs. For the first time in human history, you can hold $1 billion in the palm of your hand, and absolutely no one can take it from you by force or legal decree. There is no customer service department to subpoena. There's no bank manager to coerce. If a government outlaws it, the network continues to mathematically produce blocks. If a nation's economy completely collapses into hyperinflation, the absolute scarcity of the protocol remains unchanged. You can memorize a 12-word seed phrase, cross an international border with nothing but the clothes on your back, and instantly reconstruct your entire net worth on the other side of the planet. This is the collapse-proof portfolio. The elite use physical gold to preserve immense purchasing power through centuries. They use agricultural land to monopolize human survival. They use high-end art to bypass international capital controls. They use foreign passports to escape geographic prisons. And they use decentralized cryptographic networks to make their wealth entirely unconfiscatable. You do not need to be a billionaire to learn these lessons. The traditional system is perfectly designed to keep you dependent on their centralized matrix, begging for permission to use your own money. But the exit doors are currently open. Hold your own assets, eliminate your counterparty risk, and step outside the illusion. Welcome to the real economy.